everybody. I'm Connie Stewart with SimplySimpleStamping.com. Thank you guys so much for stopping by. It's time for a new Tuesday tip. And today I want to answer a question that seems to be showing up in my inbox quite a bit lately. And that is, Connie, can you explain all those different types of stamps in the Stampin' Up! Catalog? You're right, there are a lot. You see cling mount, you see photopolymer, and you see reversible and DistINKtive and two-step. There's a lot of different types of stamps out there. So I'm going to go through and explain those. We're going to clear up any myths that might be floating around. So let's get started. All right, we're going to start with the red rubber stamps. And I do actually have two different kinds of stamps here. I have one that says clear mount and one that says cling. And the reason I want to go ahead and show the clear mount, Stampin' Up! No longer carries the clear mount, but I do know that many of you may have received and have some of these stamps in your collection. Now this was called clear mount because it had a label that went and clung to a clear block. You have to press these down really nice and hard to get them to stick, and they do really quite well. But some people were having trouble. It didn't want to stick maybe as well as they want. Stick around, I'm going to share with you a tip on that. But all of the clear mount stamps were in the red rubber. And that's where some of the confusion came in, because when people would read clear mount, they were thinking clear stamps. Now these stamps are actually photopolymer. Yes, they are clear, but this is what a photopolymer stamp looks like. And they also just peel off, and they also cling to a clear block so that you can work with them. But let's go ahead, we're going to back up for just a minute because I want to talk now about the cling mount. So this is the style of stamps that Stampin' Up! Is working with now. They're called cling mount. And when they say cling, they're not kidding. I mean, look at that. It's super sticky, and the sticky lasts. It really does. You can see now I didn't have to press really hard, and it stuck. In fact, it's stuck. It really does quite well. So I want to give you a little tip. When you are peeling off, remember we're talking cling stamps. When you're peeling off your red rubber cling stamps, you want to work at a corner. You might have to kind of get underneath it and lift it off, because what we don't want to happen is we don't want the labels to come off. Now, when you first get your cling stamps, they are sticky, really sticky. My tip, I tap it on my shirt or on my jeans, and that kind of de-stickifies it just a little bit. Don't worry, still gonna stick just fine, but it's going to make it a little bit easier for you to peel it off the block. I do also like that you don't have to press really hard. I love the quality that I get with the red rubber, but some people really do prefer the photopolymer because of the features and benefits of that. So the difference between clear mount and cling mount is the type of backing that's on it. And as I said, everything that Stampin' Up! Sells, we no longer offer the clear mount stamps, but I know many of you do have those. So I wanted to go ahead and touch base on that. All right, so that's the difference between those. Now we're going to talk about photopolymer. Yes, these are your clear stamps. And just like I showed you, they simply come off, and you can just take those, stick them to a block, you're good to go. Yeah, they're really good and stuck to. You don't have to worry about losing any of those. When you need to clean, if you find that any of your photopolymer stamps no longer want to stick, I love to use these little alcohol swabs. These work great. Photopolymer stamps are actually at the factory are actually cleaned with rubbing alcohol. And I am doing this on the back. And you know what? I'm going to go ahead and just give it a quick wipe here on my clear block. And that's going to, well, it's going to sanitize, and we always like that. Let both of these dry, and it won't take long. It is rubbing alcohol. That one's already dry. Yep, that's good. And now we can we're ready to go again. So a real quick tip there on how to re-stickify if you need to on your photopolymer. Many of them never do, but if it's one that you use over and over, and let's say you've had this, it's sitting on your desk and it's all over the place, it picks up lint and things, well, that's how we're going to clean all that off, and we're going to get it nice and fresh and ready to go again. Now, how do you know whether your stamp that you're buying is a photopolymer or a cling? Well, when you look in your catalog right here, it's going to tell you how many stamps and whether they are photopolymer or whether they are cling mount. So this stamp set here is in photopolymer, but let's look right here. Beautiful Day, it is a cling stamp. So that's one way that you can tell the difference and know exactly what kind of stamps you're getting. So since I'm talking about the Inspiring Iris, I want to make a point right here that you will see this stamp set in particular, 16 photopolymer stamps, and then it says two-step. Let me explain what two-step is. I want to first point out the photo. So you see I have an outline stamp here, and then look at the iris that I can stamp right inside. This flower here, these leaves, flower, leaves and stem, and on and on. And let me show you how that works. It's a very simple process, and all of our two-step stamp sets are always going to be in photopolymer, because when we stamp the one, we need to be able to stamp right on top, and we need to see where we're going. This is why I love photopolymer stamps, because I can see right where I'm stamping. And do you see what that two-step does? Lined up perfectly there. I've got everything that I need. And this stamp, I guess we could even call it three-step, because now we can add our green for our leaves. I'm using Pear Pizzazz, and you can see that just stamps right there. And now I have a gorgeous image. I didn't have to color it by hand. We used that two-step method. So look in your catalog, and whenever you see two-step, that's what that term is talking about. Another image you'll see randomly in our catalog is this little DistINKtive stamp icon. This is a brand new process where Stampin' Up! Is actually taking photographs and turning them into stamps. And it gives you the most amazing detail. I think you can see here on this butterfly the realistic detail that's actually built into the stamp. Let me show you what that looks like when it's stamped. And by the way, DistINKtive stamps could be photopolymer or they could be cling. It just depends on the type of stamp. So I'm going to lightly, you want to really lightly ink up a DistINKtive stamp. You don't want to have too much ink on it. And I'm also not going to press really hard. Again, I want all that detail to show through. And there we go. Now, I kind of did this on purpose. All right, do you see? It's a little bit thick. I actually re-inked my ink pad before we started because I wanted you to see what happens with DistINKtive stamps when you have too much ink on your ink pad. So here's my tip. I need to press some of that ink and pull it away. I'm going to take just an old gift card here. And do you see how much lighter? Do you see the edges and how they're dark? I'm just kind of pulling that ink away. Now let me ink this up again. And remember, we're going to tap lightly. And now I'm going to stamp. And do you see how much more detail I'm getting there? Now, this ink that's on here, I can now turn it around and kind of pull that ink back in. It doesn't always need this, and sometimes I will be honest, with DistINKtive stamps, I like to test it first. I want to make sure I don't have an over juicy ink pad because I want that detail. There is another type of stamp that you are going to see in your catalog, especially in our new catalog. You're going to see reversible. And let me show you, I don't own this stamp set, so I'm actually just going to show you here with the catalog. But do you see all these great big gray images? They are the reverse side of a photopolymer stamp. This is a beautiful way to add color. You can add your lighter color here, your darker color on top. Same with the trees. As I said, I don't have this stamp set, so let me show you with another photopolymer set. So I'm going to bring in the Inspiring Iris again. So I'm going to stamp my image. There we go. There's my image. Now I'm going to clean this really quick because what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip it over, and yeah, photopolymer clings like that. Now I can use the reverse side and I get this. Again, we would do this, let's just for fun, let's do it. I'm going to do that light. I cleaned my stamp and I'll ink that up and we'll go right on top. Okay, not attractive, I know, but I just wanted you to see this is kind of what a reversible stamp will do. This stamp was not designed to be reversible, but I wanted you to understand when we talk about reversible, how these images work. There is one more type of stamp I want to talk about, and that is the background stamps. Now, we talked about cling, we talked about photopolymer, but what we didn't talk about is wood mount. Now, we don't have a lot of background stamps, but the background stamps that we do have come in the cling mount or with a wood background, a wood block. I know that for many of you, if you're using the clear blocks, you might not have that great big one. And I wanted you to know that in these stamps, wood is available. Now, if you don't want wood, make sure you're paying attention to the right number and you're jotting down the right number. But again, I just want to make it clear, these stamps, these background stamps are the only ones that are going to be available in wood. Now, at the beginning of the video, I told you I would have a solution to making your clear mount stamps stick more like cling mount stamps. Now, reminder, clear mount, this was the old version of our stamps. Beginning with the brand new 2021 annual catalog from Stampin' Up, it starts June 3rd, 2020. Check out page 162 because in that catalog, you're going to see stickers that will go here on the back of your clear mount stamps, and it's going to convert them to cling mount. So you'll get that great stick. No worry about it falling off. This is an awesome new, it's just a little sticker, and you can put however many you need to convert your clear mount into cling mount. Be sure to check out page 162 of that new catalog. And there you go. You have your older style clear mount, cling mount, photopolymer, DistINKtive, and of course your two-step. And if necessary, your very creative reversible stamps. Guys, I hope that kind of explains all about the different types of stamps available and really all about those great techniques. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. I hope that today's video helped explain all those different types of stamps and that you're excited to get in there and get to stamping. Have a fabulous day, everybody, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.